There's something I've been wanting to get off my chest for the last few weeks. I could instead be doing one of various things, namely helping to balance shattered drones, working on my article about game balance policies, working on my Fire Emblem 1 0% growth playthrough, handling my own game, handling the Gator wrasslin, or, oh hey, here's a good one, making yet another complaint about something involving the gender card. That last one is, believe it or not, why I'm bumping this video to the top of my priorities. Because there is some stuff I do need to say in light of this mess. I recently had a mental breakdown due in part to feeling I talked about girls too much. And please don't say gee yet thing, because that's insultingly ridiculous. I can't say that I'm still better than the showbiz and the feminazis and whatnot. But even if people simply would believe me that any more than they simply would of me saying I love you to any girl I damn well please, I should still be better than a scumbag by now. And what comes up is that I feel like I may be, inadvertently or not, suffocating them with a gender bias, instead of doing my part to make sure females get to be more than nurses or whatnot. Even when I see people who would accuse me of pushing them downstairs. Good God, that is offensive. So the subject of this vlog video, let's call it, is WaddlerD, the maker of the Super Mario RPG Revolution ROM hack. Over the past few years, few weeks, I end up feeling a bit conflicted about his actions. There's plenty of reason against him that I'm feeling increasingly less conflicted, of course, so I'll get to that first, because there's also significance that I need to provide in my 2 cents. I do still take issue with him remarking, he had remarked about his impatience being on a tightrope. It ultimately just screams excuse speaking that amounts to remarking that the internet has no good or evil, only power. Seriously, it just suggests that being popular provides the right to be inconsiderate at the very least. Who does that but somebody indifferent or even sadistic? That brings up my more active problem with WaddlerD. Him being a SOL. He's so willing to be a hive-minded person, and it shows when he even uses terms like salt without thinking there could be any problem. Please ignore that there couldn't possibly be a problem with unsportsmanlike clothing, somehow. Really, people who do that only care about being the best, even when it loses all value or point to it. It's the exact same basis as the one for cyberbullying, with the exact same problem. What do people get out of it? Spitting on the efforts of others? People with the A for effort mindset can have their problems, but they at least encourage both sides to be the best they can be, rather than just bringing people down and thinking that can possibly cause things as idiotic as burnout. WaddlerD is more guilty of indifference than hate or cruelty, but it's sometimes argued that indifference is the real opposite to love instead of hate. It's arguable which is worse, of course, but it doesn't matter anyway, because indifference does contribute to a sick-sack world. Don't believe me? And here's what happens in San Pablo, California. There are homeless people aplenty, and it gets to the point where it's easily noticed when shopping for food, or especially presents for hard workers. This happens when the structure gets broken by exploitive people being in control of the system. I ended up switching landlords when the prior one had decided that I should have to put up with a god-awful neighbor who held incredibly intrusive parties. And by the way, this neighbor was the one who complained about me disturbing the peace at 10 AM on a Sunday! Anyway, the landlord disallowed me from complaining under penalty of eviction, and it had me pay a month's worth of rent simply because the neighbor didn't pay for their own godforsaken rent! What?! Moving on. The point is that people like WaddlerD using the term salt without thinking it possibly stupid is a problem. You can argue that trash talking is apparently part of the gaming culture, but the problem is best showcased by a topic I may sometime back on Game Bucks. I'll link you if I trust you, but the summary is that I had linked to the exact time of one of my videos where I directly landed a Warlock Punch aiming on stage against a Zelda player who was off the stage. keep in mind that what I was actually trying to read was a Pharaoh's Wind recovery aiming at... They think that the guy spending Pharaoh's Wind enough. Not the roll recovery I ended up catching. So it was a soft read. I'll link to the Warlock Punch in question in the description. The game fucks users in response. Jump to the first negative thing that they could find about the video. And derail it in the topic and the talking about that, despite the clear timestamp. They even involved a case of never live it down. And that's another thing. I especially live in fear of scumbags like this. They are never repentant. And they only solidify in reason to be distrustful because of how ridiculously common the petty idiots are. That is not a society. That is nothing but a hive-minded farce. And they can claim that in the case of Never Live It Down, it's well worth ignoring anything I say or do. But all that they would do is prove themselves nothing but shallow. Fortunately, I predicted this would happen, so I mixed in a comment in the video description about plans to handle Gator wrasslin. Treated the topic as a social experiment, if you can call it such, because of how predictable it is. And by the way, that just shows how messed up and predictable the game fucks users are, that I need to resort to this sort of thing. And call the game fucks users out on the mess in my hidden run closure post. What is relevant about the Gator wrasslin thing? 2 words. Lane Graves. That whole mess from mid-June is riddled with gray and gray morality, with both sides deserving sympathy despite some more finicky actions. I obviously sound politically correct in there, and probably would with the details on my opinion, but I'm bringing this up the problem at all. I need to, because I have not heard a peep from video game community about the Lane Graves incident. I haven't said anything until now because I had a more active response in mind, and I wanted to keep it a surprise, except, yeah, no, things just kept coming up and now this video is going on. That brings up my next issue with both WaddlerD and video game community sections. What is the purpose? Why not do something worthwhile like a charity? They have the needed support system. They should use it to address things like the Lane Graves incident, where besides what happened to Lane Graves speaks for itself. There's the fact that he has a 4-year-old sibling. How do you think she would feel about the whole mess? Also, to get closer on the mess, the search party for the search involved had killed 5 alligators, naming only one of which had anything to do with the problem. And I know alligators aren't going to be the friendliest of animals out there, but I can't help but feel we're not coexisting with nature as well as we should be. I don't know why the likes of WaddlerD or Shadow Chaos 725 wouldn't get that sort of thing. What is ironic is that I would get deemed useless. Okay, why? No, seriously, I have plenty of talent with games and game modes. And unlike the general Indian, it involves self-indulgent glory, where it turns steaming terms into verbal takes like they were first-grade words. I actually have this thing that let me understand annoyance with things like bathroom details, despite not minding helping with it myself. I think it's called empathy. I'm obviously sounding like I'm bragging, but the point stands that these people just want stagnation, rather than even consider concepts like fate. I will say that I'm not blameless, which is why I'm making this video, despite all the stuff that I ranted about, to where I still think people like WaddlerD should still get called out, instead of being allowed to tell people to get a better mic. It is, of course, important to be objective, but on my side, I had looked through old Skype logs, and I did needless vending of... I know if I did needless vending of Kiddicus upwriting. The game had since become a berserk button for me. Even then, though, perhaps I do have a bit of a problem with emotions. And please do not say G, because, again, it would just be insultingly predictable. It's just, when people have more, you know, patience, I shouldn't need to be perfect at working acceptance. to be fair, I can get hypercritical of balance up helps in games. It's just that bad balance encourages tepid, indolent gameplay, even when that's not the intent. And Super Mario RPG Revolution is the poster child for what I'm talking about with that. I'm not even saying Defender replacing Domino and Cloaker was lacking innate problems, but there are moments where the gameplay doesn't work as intended, such as Rat Punch retreating, triggering only when he's below 10 HP, when his physical defense is terrible, or totally not Donkey Kong having a clear HP to defense skill. It just hurts to see attempts at vibrance get undermined by freaking Mallow being able to splat baddies silly without being... What was it again? A switching wizard? I know equipment is available, but fixing physical power just make that more subtle. Like, have enemies account for the likes of Bowser to keep brute forcing ability to his own character. Maybe I care too much, though I think it's still better than just laying down and being subject to abuses that should have been called out immediately. It's just that I think games should consistently foster growth. When people just keep doing things like spam, as long as they're rewarded for it, they won't change and they just become their own worst enemies. Maybe that is a case-by-case basis. Proving that much will be on them. It's just, why should I say nothing? I get it, people don't like when they feel like they get held to some TAS standard. However, the problem is when the people's videos feel like they're blaming the game for situations answered by the game's basic moves easily. I actually welcome creativity, but it should be tested well to make sure that it keeps being creativity. Ignis Aurum Probat. I'm willing to admit that now I wouldn't have all the answers, even with game balance, as I'm still learning and helping to balance Shatterchrome, and I can forget reasons why I'm going to be helping to do game balance when I have to understand sort of lore and character and whatnot would have to be balanced around. Clincher is, I have actually thought I don't understand that much, but even then, it's not always easy to remember. And I'm actually thanking StackTrace for pointing that much out to me. Maybe unknowingly, but I'm preaching things like Affinity of Light to begin with. Just goes to show not to bend and try to into hubris. My issue is when too much humility gets demanded instead no thanks to abrasive attitudes, which unfortunately is a common problem with the internet. Thank God StackTrace avoids that. Hooray! Maybe I can get the support I inevitably need from a game. The too long didn't listen version is... I'm not quite sure what to think. Although WaddlerD has given me no sort of reason to one that simply said nothing. I'm just saying something because I've been playing... yeah. By the way, guys, I'm planning to get Ace Attorney in Spirit of Justice this Thursday and then stream it. Please do not provide any spoilers. I know it's bound to be darker and edgier despite its light coloration in the graphics. It makes me worried that it gets off Mario, or Phoenix for that matter. Even though I'd want to find out for myself who lives, who dies, what testimony answers are, etc, for myself. Anyway, link's going to be in the description. I should be streaming one segment on weekday and as much as I can during Saturdays. Hope you guys enjoy.